One of the most enduring and inspiring stories of a saint is that of Saint Veronica. Little is known about her life, but she was originally a poor girl who worked in the fields near Milan. She was a pious woman and entered the life of nunnery of Saint Martha in Milan, in which her position was the most desirable. She also lived at the time of Jesus and was present during his trials on Good Friday. The name Veronica is Latin for Bernice, a Macedonian name meaning bearer of victory. When Jesus carried the cross during his trials of Good Friday, he was shouted at and spit upon by a furious crowd, and his face was covered by blood, sweat, and mud, and was having a hard time standing. Watching Jesus fall was so painful for Veronica, so she stepped out of the angry mob, despite the risk of her own life. With her true compassion, she knelt in front of Jesus and used her veil to gently wipe his face clean. This simple act of kindness is still resonated all over the world. After soldiers pushed her away, Veronica went home and discovered that Christ's face was imprinted on her veil. It is believed that Veronica later traveled to Rome, leaving the veil in the care of Pope Clement I and his successors. Sister Mary of St. Peter, a Carmelite nun who lived in Tours, France, who started the devotion to the Holy Face of Jesus, mentioned St. Veronica in the reported visions of Jesus. In 1844, Sister Mary reported that in a vision she saw Saint Veronica wiping away the spit and mud from the face of Jesus with her veil on the way to Calvary. She said that the blasphemous acts today are added to the spit and mud that Saint Veronica wiped away that day. According to Sister Mary of St. Peter, in her visions Jesus told her that he desired devotion to his holy face in reparation for blasphemy. Acts of reparation to Jesus Christ are then compared to Saint Veronica wiping the face of Jesus. Veronica appears as one whose mind had been wholly subdued to a religious life. She was perfection according to the ideas of her church and her age. Even under extreme and lingering sickness, she insisted in taking her share of the duties of her convent and desiring to live solely on bread and water. Her silence was a sign of her recollection and continual prayer, in which her gift of abundant and almost continual tears was most wonderful. She nourished them by constant meditation of her own miseries, on the love of God, the joys of heaven, and the sacred passion of Christ. She always spoke of her own sinful life, as she called it, though it was most innocent, with the most profound compunction. She was favored by God with many extraordinary visits and comforts, said by Butler. Because of her great service to the church, churches and parishes are named in her honor. For instance, St. Veronica Parish, Cincinnati, Ohio, St. Veronica Catholic Church, Chantilly, Virginia, and St. Veronica Congregation, Milwaukee, Wisconsin. St. Veronica has done a great deal of service not only to Jesus, but also to the church and God. Her compassion and bravery inspires not only me, but so many others around the world. She was a very devoted woman to the church, and this brings a lot of inspiration to people who want to be like her. She felt the pain Christ felt, and with just a simple act of kindness, helped him when he needed it most. She saw who he truly was, and was grateful for all he did for everyone. She risked her own life for the helping of others. That shows true compassion and a great deal of sacrifice. Saint Veronica connects to the condolet learning expectation of a respectful woman who recognizes her self-worth as a creation of God, honors and protects the dignity of each individual, and considers other feelings, cultures, and diverse viewpoints. Saint Veronica recognizes her self-worth as a creation of God because not only does she follow his teachings, she honors those teachings and wants to be a true child of God. She was a very devoted woman to the church, and she understands what God is teaching. Saint Veronica honors and protects the dignity of each individual because she first went to Jesus when he was being tortured and hurt. She wanted to help him in any way she could. She was trying to protect his dignity as a person and the dignity that he still had. Finally, Saint Veronica considers other feelings because she felt the pain Jesus was going through, and she showed true bravery and compassion and went to him when he needed it most. That is a true woman of respect.